enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger. That's it. 1 minute, he's down with the pigs, with the husk that the swine were eating. He could almost reach and grab some for himself, so hungry is he. What a powerful image, not for his nutritional hunger, but for the hunger of his soul. When the soul is so hungry that it would eat that which is a source of contempt. Oh, what a sad moment. But that's just one moment. Here is over here, ready to, so starved. But the next moment, he's over here, and what happened? What was the screen flash in his mind? The image back home with all of his father's servants sitting at lunchtime around the table, and they are all sitting with the satisfaction that they have done meaningful work in the morning, and the table has enough. Yes. Pass the potatoes, please. Pass the barbecue, please. Pass the salad, please. But they've got, pass the corn, please. And nobody has to hold up because there is enough. In fact, it's very clear there's going to be some left, which becomes a symbol for them of the fact that there's enough here for us, and I'm making a decent wage, and I'll be able to feed my kids too. The image in his head that brought about a radical transformation of consciousness, a radical sense of who he was. That image, servants, having had meaningful work with colleagues, now taking a lunch break, a Sabbath in the middle of the week. Here they are, and he sees it, and at that very idea of a place where you're cared for, adequate resources, conviviality, congeniality, pass the biscuits, please, there, and talking about what's happened to my children, and oh, she just has her first tooth. Yes, it's a beautiful white thing. Oh, mine took the first steps the other day. They're talking about their garden, their own garden that they planted. The text says, when he came to himself, when he really came to see who he really was, when he came to see himself out of the lens of his most royal existence, it shifted him. Over here, just like that. First over here, ready to eat, and then bring him here. I will rise. I will go to my Father, and I will say, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Just make me a hired servant. Work. Work. That was himself down there with the pigs. So when you read, when he came to himself, that's him. That's him, however, as he is when there has become a broken relationship with the rest of what himself is. That's himself. Yes, the pig feeding, eating, boy, that's him, but there's more to him. So I try to think about when he came to the rest of himself. This is himself. Or when he came to a different perspective on himself. No, or when he came to a different relationship of himself to the self from which he made his journey out of the primordial ooze into human existence. So that's another piece. Oh, thanks. You read the Genesis. Did you notice that it said God? This is theology because it talks about God. And then it gives the attributes of God. In the beginning, God created. That is to say, the nature of God is a working thing. The old preacher said he took nothing, rolled it up around it, and out came something. The nature of God is to take stuff and design it, to configure it for love. God is love, and yet, oh, James Earl Johnson, this is Black History Month, and God stepped out in space and looked around, and far as the eye of God could see, darkness covered, blacker than 100 midnights in the same slow. Eventually God says, I'm lonely, I'll make me a world out of love. That's it. The image of God is that being that out of love works. That being out of love works to design an arrangement that reproduces love. Work, creating a context, they call it the beloved community. That's that God, who God is a power of love that creates a context where love is the order of the day. That's God. But then you kept reading. If you said, God says, let us make humankind, and let us make humankind in our likeness and in our image, which means that if you're truly human, yourself can never be simply vegetating with the pigs. Yourself is finding the way to live love so that it builds the beloved community. To be in the image and likeness of God is a part of what it is to be human. So his humanity had been truncated. He was living a self-optimized human existence. He had disconnected himself from himself or from, anyone who is not living in conformity to the demands of love, seeking to build a beloved community, is self-optimizing. He's not fully himself or herself. Made in God's image, to come to myself is to come to the Godness in whose image and likeness I have been made. I am not myself at a big pen without a sense of I was made by a love-creating entity. My DNA, my genetic makeup is deficiently defined. The genome